Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another LEGO Train MOC Showcase video. This is a Black 5, the standard of British steam. The real life locomotive looks beautiful, but my model does not do it justice. This is my third attempt at building this, and I just don't like it. The boiler is too chunky, the drive wheels are too small. The overall scale is on par with my other models, but I just don't like how this turned out. Again, I think it's mainly because of the overall size of the boiler. I probably could have gone about building it smaller, but I'm also doing this with the parts that I have to hand. I'm not trying to order more parts online or go about taking apart other models to be able to make it happen. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem, a bit sad really, because this is a train I've wanted for quite a while. And now that I've got it, I don't like it, which is a bit of a shame. So before I scrap this and turn it into something else, I thought I may as well do my video. You may have noticed as well, the light on the camera is on because it is quite dark and dreary today. So hopefully this does help in seeing the model, particularly because this model is almost all completely black bricks, which is quite difficult to see on its own. So yeah, looking at the model side on, it isn't really characteristic of a Black 5. The boiler is kind of perfectly cylindrical going all the way across. It kind of slopes downwards like this around this middle section here, and I haven't been able to capture that. Now, there was an idea I could have tried, which was between about here and here. Just use that as one sort of plate section and put all the slope bricks on top. Angle it up slightly by putting a tile underneath here. But then I had to try and figure out a way to cover that gap, and things got a bit complicated. So I left it for now, but sadly I never went back, and I don't think that's a problem anyways, because again, I'm going to be taking this model apart. I used the 1x2, if I could try and get one of these, I can't really do it. But yeah, I used a 1x1 tile with studs facing on the side that comes outwards slightly, and I used that because it makes it all nice and flush with this back section of the boiler here, which I think looks quite good. But again, I think it's all a bit too chunky for the overall scale that I've built this at. Looking at the front, it's not too bad, but one of the biggest problems I have, if I just take this off and turn it, you can see the face of the boiler is too small. The boiler comes up to here, but the face is here, and that kind of sets the tone for how this model was built. The boiler is just too chunky, and it doesn't work for something like this. I've also been able to kind of replicate these sort of side pieces here that kind of overlap to where the cylinders are. That's not supposed to kind of overlap the cylinder itself, but that's only there because of my build style, and I use that special Technic piece to be able to represent the cylinder, so I have that piston action going there. Past two times I built this model, I didn't have this going on, but now that I do, it's, you know, it's nice to be able to see that, you know, adds a bit more of a realistic look to it. But even then, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. It doesn't work. The funnel was nice and simple. The dome piece I actually quite like. It's a rounded dome piece, but it's more kind of square, if that makes sense. It's not perfectly rounded. I've got a few more of these. I'm going to try and use them for other models in the future. I do like that. And honestly, that's all I have to really say on this. I mean, the wheels, you get an idea of what they're like, you know, same to other models I've made in the past. There is a one stud gap between the second and third drive wheel to help capture that look on the real model. I think that looks alright there, but even then, if I were to keep that, I still would have had to try to figure out a way to make the boiler smaller. I'm not going to do that now or anytime soon. I might do that again in the future. I need to figure out something because I want to make this work and look good. But I need to develop my building techniques in order to make it happen. The cab is kind of small. I actually do like how the cab area came together, because you can see here I've got these bricks facing upside down, and that's actually done quite well. Now, can I actually take that off and make... No, I can't really pull that off straight away. But what I was able to use was a 2x1 tile piece, but it's studs on both sides, and those were bricks that I had available from the Wilco blocks train set. Now, I've got a fair whack of them because I bought 7 of those train sets, and I thought this was a brilliant way to be able to use it. It captures that look very well, nice and smooth, And that detail alone, I think, looks brilliant. I love it so much. But it's a shame that the whole train is rubbish. So I'm going to take off this roof section here just to get a look inside the cab. I don't remember, did I? Yeah, okay, I made an attempt to make something happen inside the cab. So there we go, we got a bit of detailing there, just for the sake of putting something in. The cab is 7 studs wide, which I think is part of the reason why it's a bit bad, because with the boiler being big and chunky, the cab also had to be expanded upon. And I think that was probably the nail in the coffin. Once the cab shape from the side looked good, it wasn't wise to go beyond 6 studs. So yeah, I'm going to put that back on there. I'm going to keep the driver out and put him to another tray. Just chuck that behind me. There we go. So yeah, all in all, that's the boiler. It's nothing special because, you know, I haven't captured the shape. That's why. I haven't captured the shape properly. I think one day in the future I will have to come back to this, because a Black 5 is a locomotive I would like to have on my railway. But I'm not ready yet, I suppose. I'm just not ready for it yet. So there's that one. Let's move on to the tender. I'm going to keep the tender off the track because it's kind of a normal thing now. Whenever I go to put the tender on the track, it kind of just moves backwards on its own, and it's difficult to find a comfortable position to record it from. So this tender is almost identical to my LMS Coronation Class tender. In fact, I've got it up here. Give me a second. There we are. So, despite the fact that this one's red and has LMS in massive lettering, the shape is pretty much almost the same. And I think that's a good thing, because looking at the real model, I was able to recognize, obviously, the tender shape was very similar. So I was able to use this model as a template, as something to go from. And all in all, this looks pretty good. I'm actually really happy with this. The first time I attempted a Black 5, I actually motorized the tender. And I think that looked so much better because it was a lot longer. And it was much more of a realistic shape. But nonetheless, I think a tender of this shape and size looks good on its own. But knowing that it's supposed to be for a Black 5 and knowing the kind of proportions of the locomotive, it does look a bit odd. I do like, however, that I was able to put this sticker piece on the side there, putting those stickers to good use. Not making it so bland, because this is all black bricks. And yeah, I think, you know, that's it pretty much. There are some areas where detailing is a little bit better. If I could try and show you on swap hands first thing on. So here we go, on the back here, if the camera wants to focus. No, it's not going to focus, but there's 2 of these tiny slope bricks leading up to the back. So these bits here, you can see them there, in comparison to this one, where it's just flat at the back. And also, along the side, we have these taller and much nicer slope bricks, instead of using more of those tiny slopes you saw just a moment ago. So yeah, that is my Black 5 model. Let's put the whole thing together for one final look. We're doing this live. Come on, we can do this. Nope, not quite. There we go. I think I've got that. Did I do that on air a few times? I think I've done that with the past few engines, but well, let's just finish off this episode because I have other trains I want to be making. So yeah, that is the Black 5. It is a shame that this didn't turn out as well as I hoped. It's not really recognizable as a Black 5, and I don't blame you if you go to the comment section and go, that looks nothing like it. I know. But on the plus side, at least I've got all these parts to use for other engines, so that's a good thing. There we go. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.